Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most surprising moments in horror games. Spoiler alert in case you haven't played some of these titles.
How can I resist a promise?
This video is brought to you by The Rising. Awaken from your slumber and reclaim your power in blood. Experience a vampire survival action RPG adventure in a dark fantasy realm where humans, monsters, and sunlight are an ever-present danger. Build your gothic castle, craft a coffin, and reign supreme. Hunt alone or form a clan of vampires in co-op. Defy Dracula and conquer the night. The Rising is out now on Steam, and the PlayStation 5 version is just around the corner. Check the links in the description below. Number 10. The Rat King. The Last of Us Part 2. Whereas the rest of our list will comprise of more story-specific moments in games, The Last of Us Part 2's most shocking moment is character-specific. This game does have some gruesome imagery in its violent scenes, almost every one of them we cannot show. But the Rat King is one of the nastiest, most vile creatures we have ever seen in a video game. Seeing this unholy monstrosity of limbs and fungus was absolutely gut-wrenching to look at, made all the worse when a stalker broke free of its bloated corpse. Number 9. Wonderland reveals all. Alice, Madness Returns.
Am I not the most wretched and selfish of fortune's fools? Oblivious, I live in a training ground for prostitutes.
Throughout Madness Returns, we learn about how almost everyone in Alice's life does not respect her in the slightest. Most pity her in a degrading way, while others have their own unfair judgments. It's almost a guessing game as to who may have burned her home and her family. So, imagine our surprise and disgust when Wonderlander Alice's subconscious reveals it was her own therapist, Dr. Bumby, behind her entire trauma. Bumby, a specialist in hypnosis, used his practices on Alice to try and make her forget everything about her past, thus erasing what little evidence remained. For once, Wonderland saved Alice's life rather than try to take it.
Now leave. I'm expecting your replacement.
Number 8. The Fourth Wall Shatters. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Admittedly, the gimmicks Eternal Darkness brought may not work super well with today's technological advancements. Our entertainment centers have only become more complex thanks to smart TVs, apps, and game consoles. But back in 2002, Eternal Darkness had plenty of us fooled. Should your sanity diminish too much, you'd be subjected to visuals that would actually affect your gameplay, or, for some people, outright trick you into thinking something was wrong with your TV or console. Don't be ashamed if you were one of those individuals, because no other game was doing this at the time. Number 7. The Mastermind Uncovered. Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc.
Well, what do you have to say to that?
The first Danganronpa game went from 0 to 60 rather quickly after the murder game was presented. Of course, some refused to believe they were being forced to play Monokuma's sick game. But the final chapter reveals that Monokuma was simply a mask for the Mastermind, and the Mastermind was none other than Junko Enoshima, the ultimate fashionista. Wait, but Junko died in the very first chapter, right? No. The Junko who died was actually Junko's sister, Makuru Ikusaba. The game was rigged against everyone from the very start, all in the name of despair.
So this is despair.
Number 6. Humanity Lost. Soma.
They're out there, among the stars. We're here.
No. We were getting on the Ark. I saw it. It finished loading just before it launched.
One glaring detail noticed when starting up Soma was the total lack of humans present within Pathos 2. Just where is everyone? Did all of the robots kill them? It isn't until the very last moments of the game when we learn that your character, Simon, is not human and that Pathos 2's Warden unit took over the facility and mutated all staff into mechanical husks. And all of this was done as a desperate means to preserve humanity. But the game left us with a depressingly perplexing thought. Is humanity truly preserved if it's trapped inside mechanized metal or a digital landscape?
Don't let them die, okay? Send them out there. To the stars.
Number 5. The Darkest Pit of Hell. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. We honestly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's to adapt the usual horror franchise tropes. You know, the monsters never truly die, there's a new threat elsewhere under a new villain, so on and so forth. But the surprise launch of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator wound up bringing a good chunk of the story to an unexpected end. This whole charade of you running your very own pizzeria was nothing more than a ruse. You were simply a pawn in a wider plan to lure the haunted animatronics in a simple yet effective trap.
Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you?
And so, you and the animatronics you've brought in are left to burn.
I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms.
Number 4. Would You Kindly? Bioshock.
Would you kindly? Powerful phrase. Familiar phrase.
Although Bioshock is not categorized as a traditional horror game like Resident Evil, there are enough stomach-churning moments for us to include it here. And the moment that still haunts us to this day is when Atlas is revealed to be Frank Fontaine. Turns out everything that has occurred in the game, from the plane crash to your run-in with Andrew Ryan, has been orchestrated since before your arrival. The entire time, Fontaine has been posing as an ally who wanted to help you escape the underwater hellhole. In reality, he was just a madman who wanted to shed more blood and wield all the power in what little remained of Rapture. Number 3. Monica's Madness. Doki Doki Literature Club. From the beginning, we all knew there was something up with Doki Doki Literature Club. There were very subtle signs, but they grew more terrifying every chapter. It wasn't until towards the end of our time that Monica reveals herself to be the one pulling the strings. In this world, she is God, and she will torment Natsuki, Sayori, and Yuri as much as she wants. And she'll make us relive those moments again and again and again. As if the disturbing imagery wasn't already enough, this twist was what propelled Doki Doki Literature Club into the public eye.
Every day, I imagine a future where I can be with you.
Number 2. Nicoles Fate. Dead Space.
Strange. Such a little thing.
How many times you watched that thing?
At first, Dead Space starts off with what seems like a simple search and rescue mission. Board the Ishimura and pray you make it to Nicole before the necromorphs do. What isn't revealed until the very end is that the markers Isaac collects can distort minds, resulting in vivid hallucinations. Yes, Isaac's mind had only fabricated all of the messages we received from Nicole. So what happened to her? She sadly gave her life to help people fleeing from the Ishimura, and to prevent the possibility of her turning into a necromorph, she took the only path she could. Nicole was dead long before the game started. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Mary's Death. Silent Hill 2.
I understand now. It's time to end this nightmare.
No, I won't let you. You deserve to die too, James.
Much like Dead Space, Silent Hill gave us an unreliable protagonist without revealing it to us until the very end. Throughout the game, we're led to believe that James loved his wife through thick and thin. He would do anything and everything to make Mary happy. But towards the end, we make the shocking discovery that all is not what it seemed. Though Mary was indeed sick, she did not die from her illness. On the contrary, it was by the hands of her own husband. To this day, we have yet to learn which of the game's 6 endings is the real one, which only begs more questions as to whether James was the husband we initially perceived him to be.
That's why I want you to live for yourself now.
Which horror game moment shocked you the most? Let us know down in the comments.
So this is how the despair of death feels. It's so wonderful!
This video is brought to you by V Rising, out now on Steam. The PlayStation 5 version is just around the corner. Check the links in the description below.